Alrighty, so the Hawk boss is back, and he has a new difficulty. He has Hell difficulty now, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, if you don't know how this fight works, there's a lot of stalling involved, so there's not necessarily like a really like fast clear team, but you just want to have like some really nice damage dealers on your team, and then basically just like rush ults and stuff like that, so that way you can actually do considerable damage to him, because he has a lot of HP, but in return, he's going to give you these attack buffs. So we're going to be using two different teams. We're going to be using the Goddess team here. I did have Green Sariel on it originally, and I think the stance was actually screwing it up because he was dealing damage, and we weren't getting the second attack increase. And then the other team that we're going to use is the Ragnarok team. So let's hop in with the Goddess team first. I think, like I said, the stance that we were using with Green Sariel was kind of messing things up a little bit because we were actually dealing damage to him, where if you don't know, the whole gimmick is you just don't want to attack. So that way you actually gain these 150% attack increases, which you're definitely going to need, because if we inspect the enemy, he has 11 million HP, and then on phase 2, he has 15 million HP. So it is quite a lot to deal with. So let's go ahead and maybe move some Mael cards here, and then we will maybe buff up turn 2. You don't want to throw out the buffs like too crazy if possible, because he does actually have a passive where if you use a buff, it will actually give you, I think it's a 40% HP decrease on the character who uses a buff. So you got to be a little careful with that if possible, but we're going to throw on maybe this one so that way we can actually draw this ultimate, and then we can go ahead and throw this away since we have an attack seal on her. And then we can maybe start pushing towards Liz's ultimate. He does have an AoE skill that he can use from time to time, and it will actually give you 2 ultimate move gauge orbs, so do be aware of that. It'll kind of help you ult rush a little bit faster. But yeah, so now you can see we have double attack increases. If we inspect our hero, you can actually see them down here. We have 2 150% increases. I know my camera's messing that up a little bit there, but let's go ahead and cleanse so that we do a little bit more damage. I'm actually going to move this to the side so we can merge it next turn for a faster ultimate. Ooh, do we do that actually? Because I could push for Liz's ultimate as well. I guess we can just do that next turn. So let's go ahead and ult, and then we're going to go ahead and use the Flood card, maybe? Yeah, I think we used the Flood card. It's not going to do the greatest because she's obviously not procced her passive yet, but with these 2 attack increases, this should do a really good amount of damage. Okay, 7.8 million. I don't think we kill here. Yeah, not quite a kill. He does gain a lot of HP back. I know the chat is a little bit in the way there, but yeah, not... You kind of just want to burst as much as possible. You kind of want to get as many ults as you possibly can, but I may be trying to rely on trying to get too much hand space out of the way instead of prioritizing what I need to be prioritizing. So let's go ahead and push maybe towards Mael's ultimate again, and then we can try to get some ultimates in hand. So let's go ahead and use or move this so that way we get the ultimate on Tarmiel, and then we can get rid of that Margaret card as well. So let's see how this goes. So we have 3 ults in hand. These 2 characters do have the HP decrease, which is a little unfortunate. We give Mael a little bit of extra ult gauge there, which is kind of nice. He does stun our Liz, which is a little unfortunate, but I do have, well, he doesn't have a whole lot of ultimate move gauge, so the Tarmiel ultimate might not do anything insane here. Let's use these cards and then both ultimates, and that hopefully will be enough to kill. Not anything crazy. We do put the Sunspot on, and then 3.6 million. I know that the chat's a little bit in the way there. If you want to be a part of the chat, by the way, next time we do a live stream, feel free to subscribe, because that way you can come hang out with us when we do live summons and everything. Okay, we're actually looking pretty good. We're going to stall for 1 turn, so that way we can at least get 1 of these attack increases, and then we're just going to triple ult, and then that should pretty much be game. Obviously, depending on your RNG, depending on your card draw, that kind of stuff, depending on what you can get rid of, I guess, on your turn, you could potentially get a lot faster of a clear. He does put up this stance on this phase, which is a little bit annoying. So basically, I think it's just going to be him gaining HP back at the beginning of the turn. So heals diminished HP by 15% at the start of the next turn. So if you don't kill him, he's basically just going to get a ton of life back. So be aware of that. Let's go ahead and do this. And then, I mean, we have I guess technically we should attack with the gold card before, so that way we do max damage if possible. But this should hopefully be enough. Let me hide the chat for just a moment so you can see the damage here. Okay, that doing not a whole lot at all. Ultimate? Might have been better to actually just stall for 2 turns. That actually got rid of the stance. Okay, and then a crit on the ultimate there. So we actually did kill. Kind of surprised, to be honest. It didn't look great there for a second, but yeah, I don't know. It is hell difficulty. It's a little bit tougher than it normally has been. Let me swap over to the Ragnarok team really quickly. We'll be right back. Alrighty, so here we are with the Ragnarok team. We are going to try and push for... It's really nice if you can get Freyr's ultimate because it has death, so it's twice. It's really nice to have that one for the second phase just because he has so much HP. So if possible, we're going to maybe try to push for the Freya ultimate here. Obviously, one of the biggest things to this fight is you kind of have to have a halfway decent ultimate level on the characters that you're going to be using because of, you know, the fact that you want it to do as much damage as humanly possible. But, you know, depending on what characters you do have, like, fully invested into or whatever, you can potentially just bring those units, or you could even just try to, I don't know, just bring in a team that has good synergy. You don't necessarily have to use ultimates, but obviously they're going to do the most damage. But yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of working around. You can obviously just kind of lower the difficulty a little bit. They do have sort of like the final boss treatment with this fight, where if you can complete it on the highest difficulty, you are actually going to get different medals than you do in the regular difficulties. So you can potentially clear the exchange shop faster, and you can get the stuff with the or that cost the higher tier medals with the other stuff, which is nice, I guess. But you can exchange those with the regular medals as well, so it's not like the end of the world if you can't get those. Let's maybe push for... I don't know if the ultimate alone is going to be able to do it, so let's go for something like this, and then we can move some cards around next turn just in case this doesn't kill. Okay, 38 million damage. Does pretty well. I would say that's pretty good. Freya obviously does a lot of damage. Also, I forgot to mention that if you the highest CC character on your team gains an 80% crit chance increase, so that's obviously really, really nice. Let's push for Freyr's ultimate. We're gonna merge these so that way we can actually draw the card, and then I don't have anything else I can merge, so I'm going to just move this card for now, but I could potentially get Brunhild's ultimate as well. Maybe that would have been worth getting, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to get 1 increase here. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to kill with just the 1 increase, so let's just go ahead and ult here. We're going to use all of our cards, and then that should hopefully be enough. So this does 7.5, that's about half of his HP, and then the rest of it's going to finish him off. So, Ragnarok team obviously being a little bit better, like, damage-wise. I don't know, Freya actually does an insane amount of damage. Obviously, you might not have some of these characters. Just try to figure out what characters you have that have good ultimate levels that you can sort of push for, and just make sure that your team can survive a little bit, because Hell difficulty, he does do a pretty decent amount of damage, so it's not going to be necessarily the easiest, but it's going to give you the most rewards. That way you can get done with the exchange shop faster. You know how this works. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.